Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. A fool and his money are easily parted. Billions spent on stuff on Singles Day. We speak to a scientist about recent record temperatures. Millions of trees planted in a single day in Turkey to help save the planet. And one of the worst things we have ever seen or heard will be played for your pleasure at the end of the show. Do not go anywhere. And at the top of our newsfeed, Singles Day. An obscene amount of money has been spent by people in China on a shopping extravaganza launched by the mega retailer Alibaba. Sam Vardas has the story. I wonder what she bought.
Well, there's no wonder why Singles Day is the banner event of the year. It took just 1 minute and 8 seconds for Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba to see sales hit $1 billion this morning. And you only had to look as far as Chinese social media throughout the day to find out what people were spending their money on and just how much. One shopper on China's Twitter-like Weibo jokingly posted, "I'm going to declare bankruptcy after Singles Day," while another said, "I spent all of last month's salary." This person, meanwhile, gave an example of themselves before and after the sale. Now, Tmall Singles Day has been one of the most talked about topics on Weibo today, with more than 7 billion people reading about it as of this morning. As you can see here on Baidu, China's version of Google, searches for Singles Day and media coverage of it peaked just after midnight when the retail bonanza kicked off. Now, as for where shoppers spent the most money, the southern province of Guangdong topped the list this morning, while consumers across the border in Hong Kong were the biggest spenders outside the mainland. Now, what started out as a student holiday in China to counter Valentine's Day has since grown into a month-long festival that peaks with this 24-hour shopping blitz. Of course, the trend has been helped massively by digitalization, as well as the fast-paced development of mobile platforms and payments. Now, interestingly, experts say China makes up for more than 50% of e-commerce globally, even though it doesn't have over half of global internet users here. And they expect this figure to grow to 60% in the next 5 years.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. Now, this viral Twitter thread has begun an investigation into sexism in the policies of a major bank which runs Apple's new credit card. David Heinhammer Hansen tweeted that he was given 20 times the credit limit that his wife got, despite the fact their circumstances are almost identical. When the tweets went viral, this one from one of the founders of Apple, Steve Wozniak, added to the anger. He got 10 times more with the Apple Card than his wife did. Financial regulators in the US are now looking at Goldman Sachs, the major bank that administers the Apple credit card. Goldman has tweeted this in response, saying it makes decisions on credit lines like any other bank does, on an individual basis.
Come on, get ready!
A show which helps perhaps billions of children with their counting, reading and friending skills is now 50 years old. Sesame Street is a cultural phenomenon started by Joan Gans Cooney and Lloyd Morissette in 1960 time. Its list of characters like Oscar the Grouch, Big Bird, Snuffleupagus and the rest have been part of many people's childhood. And it being 50 today is a chance to show you my favourite Sesame Street sketch, the Pinball Number Count. So good. Happy birthday.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Now, Bob Iger, who runs Disney, which owns the Star Wars franchise, says they're going to pause production of new films after the coming one, which is called Rise of Skywalker. The reason? The last two just weren't very good. The Last Jedi and that one about Han Solo. And that comes from me, a man who's watched the Star Wars movies more times than he'd care to count or admit. There will be more stuff from the Star Wars universe soon though, but not in theatres, but on television. The Mandalorian is due out on Disney's new streaming service soon, as well as a prequel about Cassian Andor, the lead character in Rogue One. And Ewan McGregor is also said to be making a series about Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this is the new in-flight safety video for Korean Airlines. It features a K-pop group called Super M, and it's the reason I will not be flying with Korean Air in the near future. And next up, we have gone through a heat wave in the past few days here in Istanbul. I was able to barbecue on Friday, and while the food was great, it should not be this warm in this city at this time of year. Harris has been taking a look.
It's early November and the current temperature in Istanbul is 24 degrees. Sounds cool. Well, it might be cool to walk by the Bosphorus in just a shirt, but it's not good for our planet and it's not good for us. The average temperature in Istanbul during this time of year is just above 11 degrees. This warm weather comes as no surprise, knowing that in the last summer alone, we saw 396 instances of record high temperatures across the globe. July 2019 was the hottest month recorded in history. So I met climate change expert Professor Levent Kurnaz to discuss the topic.
At the moment, we are not seeing, at least in this part of the world, we are not seeing the bad impacts of climate change. When you go to the small island nations or to Bangladesh or the Horn of Africa, climate change is affecting them very seriously. But here we don't see it as much. But in the coming years, it's going to be much worse, both health-wise and also agriculture is the most important thing, because if we cannot feed ourselves, then we have a serious problem.
Sometimes there is the argument made by the countries that are developing and polluting now, mostly towards Europe and the US, like, okay, you developed, you polluted a lot, you mostly created this, now it's our time to develop, so we're not going to slow down, hence we're not going to take that much care about the emissions. Do you think it works? Do you think it will bring them any benefit at the end?
No, because mostly the problem will be with the developing countries. Because the developed countries will be situated in better places on Earth and they will not be suffering a lot. But the developing countries, I mean the Horns of Africas and the Bangladeshes and the Tuvalus, those countries will be suffering a lot. If they want to develop, fine. But pollution is not a right. It has never been a right for any country. And it's our job to help all of the developing countries. All of the developed countries' job is to help the developing countries to have an energy transformation, because we don't have to have coal and natural gas and oil to develop. We have to have energy, and energy can be found in various ways.
We see that people individually are trying to change something. So we have people who go for zero waste, people who give up on certain food like beef in order to tackle it. What's that an individual can do the best in your opinion?
The world is composed of individuals. I have never seen a company which eats something or burns something. A company produces something for the people. And if we don't consume those things that we say it's dangerous for environment in the future and for sustainability, then we basically don't use those things, don't eat those things, don't burn those things. And if we say stop, it will stop. It's that simple.
And as he was saying, the climate crisis does require that every single one of us do our part to reduce our waste and protect the environment in any way we can. And one way that millions and millions of Turkish people are doing that is with a mass tree planting exercise after a tweet appeal that was picked up by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
Sultan Kız Anadolu İmam Hatip Lisesi olarak bu etkinlikte yer almak bizim için çok önemli ve değerli. Öğrencilerin bu etkinliği duyar duymaz okulda çok ciddi bir heyecan oluştu.
Okulumuzda böyle bir proje olduğunu duyduk ve çok sevindik. Hemen buraya gelmek istedik ve cidden burada da çok güzel bir ortam var.
Biz burada ağaç dikiyoruz. Ağaçlar büyüsün, büyük olsun, susuz kalmasın. Onları sulayalım. Ağaç dikmeyi de çok severim. O yüzden bu kampanya da benim için çok güzeldi.
Hiçbir şey bu uygulamanın yerini tutmazdı. Bizim için çok güzel bir fırsat oldu. Ve şu an eminim bu çocuklar büyüdüğünde bu ağaçları hiç unutmayacaklar.
Okulumuzda fidan dikimine yönelik çalışmalar zaman zaman yapıyoruz. Birçok kere yaptık ama burada da olmak ayrı bir şey. Çocuklarımıza bu bilinci kazandırmak, çocuklarımızın doğayla, ağaçla, fidanla buluşması çok güzel bir güzellik oldu bugün için.
Ağaç dikmek çok güzel bir şey. Ben herkese ağaç dikmelerini, fidan dikmelerini tavsiye ediyorum. Herkesin dikmesini. Evet diktim, köydeyken dikmiştim. Gerçekten çok güzel bir duygu. İlk orada dikmiştim zaten. Ben çok eğlenmiştim orada ve burada da zaten diktim. Ben bu kampanyayı çok sevdim. Daha önceden de ağaç fidan dikmişliğim var. Bu kampanyadan çok hoşlandım. Bir daha tekrarlanmasını isterim.
Let's keep spinning around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Monday. The president of Sri Lanka has pardoned a man who murdered a teenager in 2005. Jude Jahamiah killed Yvonne Johnson in Colombo after what's described as an argument. President Miratha Pala Sirisena says the murder constitutes a moment of impatience on the man's behalf. His decision has caused outrage, especially with Johnson's family. Her sister posted this on Facebook saying she'll never understand why he did it. A religious site in Ayodhya, India, claimed by both Hindus and Muslims, has been awarded to the Hindu community by the country's High Court. The judge said that a trust should be set up to build a temple there for the deity Ram. The mosque had been on the site for 460 years, but it was demolished by a mob in 1992. Muslims have been awarded an alternative site to build a new mosque. Oleg Solokov is a Russian professor who was confessed to murdering his partner, Anastasia Yashchenko. Solokov was found in the Moika River with a backpack containing Ms. Yashchenko's arms. The professor is reportedly obsessed with Napoleon Bonaparte and apparently said he plans to commit suicide at the St. Petersburg fortress dressed as the former French military leader. And bushfires are burning out of control in Australia right now, and the threat level to life and property is classified as catastrophic. And a report called the Brown to Green says Australia has had the worst response to the climate crisis of any G20 nation. The review described itself as the most comprehensive accounting of the G20 nations' efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And last up, sorry, but we have to show you something. Those with a sensitivity to terrible rapping should cover their ears now.
I'm a MAGA kid. I'm here to blow the liberals' list. School shootings for the fight.
Well, this has been hate watched by more than 6 million people. It was posted by a teenager in America under the hashtag Maga Challenge. It has lyrics which don't rhyme, much less make sense, and it's all to try and get young people to support Donald Trump. He's announced that the winner of this challenge will get to visit the White House. I really hope it's her. The clip certainly has achieved one unlikely aim. Judging by the responses, it has united both left and right in the US in their hatred for it. And that will have to do from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. You'll find me at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel and you can follow me on Twitter. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again soon.